to start, first of all, with a little introduction about myself. I am Isabel. I am Nicaraguan-Spanish. My dad is Spanish. My mom is from Honduras. But my sisters and I, we were born in Nicaragua. And so at the moment, I have double nationality. And I am 35 years old at the moment. And then, so I would like to share today, as I say, the whole path, not only the professional path, for you to understand that this career doesn't come alone without a personal growth, a spiritual growth as well. You know, like it's not possible that you only focus on the career. There is the other side too. So yeah, I was born in Nicaragua when I was 2 years old. My sister, the smallest, we are 3. She was months old. We traveled from Nicaragua to Spain, and we settled there because my grandparents were living in Valencia. So we settled in a small town in the Valencia region. And my childhood was a very complicated time, childhood and teenagerhood, because at that time, 35 years ago, it wasn't common to see mixed race people with different features in a very small community. And so, yeah, for 16 years, I faced bullying, racism and discrimination. And I was told to don't belong there, or to don't deserve there, or not allowed to play with these kids, you know. So it was a very hard time. Even like this, I still have good memories of my childhood, of how I enjoyed. And so you know, we in Valencia region is full of orange fields. So I was the only girl among the guys, exploring all our orange fields. And I don't know, like we were taking our bicycles and trying to visit nearby areas, you know, to explore this field. Now I understand why I'm still in this exploring thing. Is because when I was a child, is what I was doing. We even had a tree house, so I was always climbing trees. And nowadays, if I'm with my sisters and my mom, we climb trees too. You know, it's something that I didn't stop doing, but with more careful, of course, just to not fall. Yeah, I remember I loved cycling. I always say to my mom, do you need something from the supermarket? I can take the bicycle and get it to you, you know? I remember, I don't know why, but at that time I realized, but at that time I wasn't aware of that, but I was a conservationist without knowing. And I remember there was a lot of urbanization going on in my region, where all these orange fields were being cut. And there were also some ponds with frogs, you know, and other kind of fauna that were all drained. And so, yeah, I had a fascination for frogs. Don't ask me why, I don't understand. So I knew everything about them. I knew the time when they feed, how they reproduce, everything, how to catch them, because it's not easy to catch them. I was an expert on frogs just by observational. And I remember there was a pond that was getting drained, and it was full of frogs. And to me, it was like, oh my God, they are going to die. You know, there is no other piece of water body where they can go. So me and my friends, the boys, we say, okay, let's take some, I don't know how you call it in English, the small ones with the little tail, tadpoles, yes. So I say, let's take some of them in a bottle, you know, and bring them to the river nearby. Because I don't know, don't ask me why. I think I was 10 or 12 years old, and I just knew that they were going to be extinct in that pond, and I need to do something. And so we brought the tadpoles to that river. I have to say that this story didn't end well, because I fell down with my bicycle because I was carrying this bottle in one hand. It was a very steep path, and I couldn't brake on time. So I had an accident, and I broke this bone here, you know. So next time, if you want to do adventures, you know, safety measures are important. and I was lucky that it was only the bone. It wasn't something else, but it could be worse, of course. And yeah, so now at the moment I didn't understand that. Now that I am a scientist and conservationist, I realized that this was a technique of restoration. You know, when you see a population of a wildlife population that is reducing, and there is no another region that they can move, so you intervene and you move those animals or those organisms. Yeah, I have to say that this love for nature comes from my mother. My mom is from Honduras, and I don't know what happened there, but they have a huge connection with nature. They consider themselves like brothers and sisters. There is no hierarchy between nature with trees or insects or ecosystems or mountains or rivers, you know. So this love for nature came from her, definitely. The love for ocean, I wasn't aware at that moment, because even if I'm from Valencia, we are more or less close by to the sea. It's not like I was every day going to the sea. I think the love for the ocean, I was aware later, and I realized that it comes from my dad, because he was kind of a sailor. He was an engineer traveling the world in big boats, in the engineering part of the boats. And I remember him telling us a story. And we also have big boxes with postcards from everywhere of the world. So we were in this little town, and there was a postcard from New Zealand, one postcard from Ecuador, and this was crazy now, you know, growing like that. He was traveling the world in that boat, and how they celebrate when they cross the equator. Apparently, you need to celebrate when you cross the equator. And yeah, I realized now that this part comes from him, but I wasn't aware until I was maybe 23. So, you know, a lot of time had to pass. What else I was doing when I was a kid? I love music and I love dancing. And, you know, I was, because I didn't understand the songs in English, I was translating the songs. At that time, we didn't have internet, so I had to take a dictionary. I have to print the song from the library, you know, and come to my house and translate it, because I wanted to know what the songs were saying. And this, I think it was my initiation to English. Apart from the school, this was my improvement. I was very good in English at the time. And I think because I was doing this extra work, because I wanted to know about the songs. I'm also a person that I always like to meet international people or foreigners. Well, I like people in general, like, you know, like my neighbors, but like if there was someone that is from abroad, I am more attracted to go and talk to them and interact, you know. And English is a vehicular language for do that sometimes, you know, many times. So this is why I engage so much in English, to be able to communicate with other cultures and other people. All right, so this was my childhood, and by when I was 16 years old, I moved to another high school, because that high school previously was really bad for me. So at 60 years old, I started, I don't know how it's in the United States, but in Spain, before going to the university, the 2 previous years, you need to study a specialization in order to join the university. So from 16 to 18, I was in another high school doing this scientific specialization. And there I met my best friend, Kitty, with who, you know, at that time I had closed my heart, and it was hard for me to kiss someone. When in Spain, we give 2 kisses when we say hello. We are very touchy. We hug, you know. And when I was 16 years old, I wasn't like that at all. And this friend showed me how beautiful it is when you open your heart and you are not afraid, and show your love. In this case, you know, touching ourselves or kissing or hugging, expressing ourselves. So I really yeah, she really taught me this, and it's something that it was fundamental for me to start opening the heart again. Then when I was in Valencia, I decided I have to say that in that period, there were also family problems too. I realized that this happened in all families. There is no family that doesn't go through challenges. And so what happened when these problems happen in families, that you break bonds and you hurt others, a lot, because there is this confidence and we just say things that how we feel it, right? We are very respectful, I would say, with family, and this shouldn't be like this. So there was a lot of bonds that were, broken. And so from 16 till 30, so 15 years, especially my sisters and I, we had to work a lot and rebuilding these bonds among ourselves, with our mother, with our father, and it's still a constant work that we do, not so tedious as before. Now it's like more, we can do it. Now we have the patience, but we had to work 15 years to regain these bonds. So sometimes some works take longer, but don't give up. And anyway, when I was 18, I decided to study biology. I wasn't sure. I remember I had 3 choices. We can choose 3. And I love philosophy, because when I was having philosophy at high school, I don't know, it really fascinated me how there are different thoughts to explain human behavior. They were all different. You agree with one, you don't agree with others. I like also logics. I was very good in that too. And I am a person that I'm a thinker. I'm all the time thinking. So I like this. It was very enriching for my mind, all this philosophy. But at the same time, I was afraid that I didn't have a job in Spain, because I didn't know any philosophists that work in Spain. And also, I was afraid to overthink too much. I was thinking, like, you overthink already. Maybe if you overthink more, maybe it's not good for you, So I put this as a second option. Just a third option, I put English, because I say, you know what? I like English, maybe I should study this and master the language. And then in the first place, I put biology. I didn't know why exactly. I know that I love nature. I knew that I wanted to be more in contact with nature than with humans, because I was hurt at that time. And so I thought, like, maybe a job that is more in nature and less with people, maybe this helps me, And yeah, and at the end, you choose, and then was the first option, biology. I started, and this career in Spain at that time was 5 years degree, a 5-year degree. It's a long journey, guys. Just I don't know if I had the patience right now to do 5 years of studies, but I think at the time, yeah. It took me 7.5 years. The average is 7 years in Spain for that degree, because it's in every country does it different. The way that we study at that time is very theoretically. We have books like this. We have like 10 subjects per year. We have all the practical in the laboratory, sometimes field work, all the calculus. We were doing everything by hand, not with the Excel. What else? And all the theory. So it was very, very intense. So if you want to pass a subject, if you fail one of the sections, you cannot pass that subject, and all the subject goes down. So it was very hard. It was very hard because you need to keep all in balance. And so during those years, I have to say that I started working in hospitality since I was 16. Because my dad is a little bit strict, and my dad was saying to us, you pay for your things. I can help sometimes, but you pay for your things. And of course, what my dad was giving to me was a roof and food. but then the rent in another city, or my printer resources for studying, or if I want to go to the hairdresser, I need some shoes, they had to come from me. It was very hard. If you have the chance to not work and study and only study, do it, definitely. But if for some reason you have to study and work, it's possible. It's possible, but it's hard too. And so yeah, I was studying and working. And the thing is that it depends. You have to think about my reality in Spain. Like, salaries are very low. So this means that one job is not enough. My weekend job is not enough. This means that I need to work in the middle of the week, some event, something to make it, you know. And salary at that time was around $4 American per hour, or $3.5 American per hour. And so it wasn't enough to pay the fees of the university. It wasn't enough to pay the printed resources, to pay the transport, to pay the rent. And I have friends that pay my rent, that they borrow money to pay my rent. Not once, many times in my life, I returned to them, but they had to help me. And it was hard for me to accept their help, you know? But I also understood that sometimes we need help and we need to ask for help, and there is nothing wrong with you. It's just life goes up and down, and there are moments that you don't have the resources economically, or your money is not okay, and we need help, and it's fine. And you are not less. But it take me a while to understand that, you know, to don't feel less because I cannot pay my rent, or I'm not capable to do that. Now I understand. So those years were very hard because, of course, you are struggling, working and studying. And, you know, at the point that sometimes I didn't have money to buy the printed resources for that run of exams. So I had to wait, and I said to my friends, look, when you finish your round, can I borrow your printed resources and I can study for the second round of the other rounds? And so I was doing that. If I didn't have the money to pay the printed resources, I was waiting for the others to do the round and borrow their printed material. It's also, again, you are fighting with your pride, you know, but at the same time, I cannot give up neither. This is my situation. You know, I have to find a solution. Maybe it's not the one that I would like, but still there is a solution, and I'm going to go with that solution. Anyway, so it was many years of struggling financially, but at the same time, okay, we are going to start more in the professional part, because I think maybe people will understand. At that moment, I didn't know what, I didn't know I wanted to be a marine biologist. I didn't know what I wanted to do. So what I was doing, I was tasting every course, every webinar, every presentation, everything that they were offering in the university, you know, I was joining. I remember I went for bird ringing, you know, like we were to do census about the birds. You need to go very early in the morning, when it's night, catch them with a net and bring them, you know. So I wanted to see if I like that or not. I was thinking, oof, I don't like to wake up so early, so maybe this is not for me, you know. Then what else I did? There was in my region, like, there is some protected area, like a freshwater protected area, and there was some invasive species, that tortoises, that they were uncontrolled there. They are not native from there, but they are more aggressive than the native tortoise. And so I was there tracking them to see where they are, with a telemetric device, you know. So it was very interesting. But at the same time, I think, I don't know if I like this freshwater place. You know, like I didn't feel like, you know, so it's just, you just try. I also did a course of marine turtles, you know. I did a course of sharks too. So I did many things. I did another webinar, not a webinar, like symposium or course, like for 1 week of marine mammals. I was trying to understand what I like, but still I didn't know. And I was maybe, I don't know, maybe 22, 21 years old. And I didn't know. I know it was something with ocean at the time, but I didn't know that it was corals that I'm doing now. And so when I was there also, I joined a lab. I also recommend to do that. The way I did it is I start locally, then regionally, and then internationally. You can always stay local if you want, but to me, I don't know, I did it this way. Some people go directly internationally, go abroad, there is no a way, it's your way. So I joined a lab there that they were doing marine parasitology, and never heard about it. So they were looking at different marine parasites in fishes or sea lions, or they were also doing necropsies of turtles and dolphins. So it was super interesting to see a huge dolphin or a turtle in front of you, even if it was dead. But you talk to the veterinary there, you talk to the researcher, and they tell you, okay, this is happening, we think that they stranded because of this reason, or this tissue, when you see it like that, this means this illness, so, or this pathology. So it was very interesting to me. It still wasn't the thing that I wanted, like I found my thing to do. What I also did, and I also recommend you, when you go to a place and you work, many people leave and then you lose the contact with that person. What I was doing is ask for a recommendation letter, a general one. So you say that person states that you have been there during this time and you have been involved in this research and you work like this and like that, and it's a general one. In case you lose the contact with that person, and then it's harder to ask for a recommendation letter. So I was doing that in all my the places I was collaborating. And from that, okay, this was in Valencia region, and it was at the end of my studies. There was only one subject, and Sarah, it was very hard for me, plant physiology. It was very hard. Like, I think it was also the teacher, the way that she was doing the exam, she didn't want us to pass. So this subject was all the time failing, and it was impossible. And still at the last moment, it's the only subject that I had. And so I had to wait 6 months in order to do the exam. So this means that I had 6 months that were free. And I was thinking, what are you going to do? And because I was always working in hospitality, to me, say, okay, I have to work to pay my life and it's fine, but I also want to enjoy and see other things. So I decided to go to Barcelona. So I can do the hospitality work during the weekend and be in a lab there too, So, and I feel like I'm not only just working in my city and something that is not related to me. So I went to Barcelona and I was in 2 labs with work from the Spanish Research Council. And this also gave me a lot of, I don't know how to say, like my CV also went up a little bit, because just I'm entering not in 1 lab, but in 2 labs. Of one, it was about marine science, and the other was more environmental chemistry, so it was really good. In one of the labs, I was doing more like biochemistry, marine biochemistry. So this is more lab work, is where you have to run some protocols, some enzymatic assays, to look at the activity of certain proteins, because these proteins are considered biomarkers of something, and so I was doing that. And then in the other lab, with the environmental chemistry, I was looking at mercury content in fishes or marine fauna. And I have to say they have more than what is recommended for eating. Anyway, and also again, I asked for my recommendation letters, but at a certain point, I was trying also to look for a job when I finished my studies. But in Spain at that time, it was very hard to find a job for a junior marine biologist. There is not a lot of movement, And so the people that has the position, they are very senior. So it's almost impossible to get a position that is paid in the system. So I had to stop working for free in these labs because it wasn't sustainable at a certain point. And so I say, okay, Isabel, just focus on working full-time in hospitality and go abroad. And so I spent a whole year working in a hotel in Barcelona. It was hard too. It was fun because my colleagues were, you know, amazing team. But at the same time, it's hard because you are doing something that you don't want to do. You are doing, but there was also the motivation. I'm doing this for that reason. So I say, okay, I can do it. But it's hard. My advice to you is don't do something that you don't want to do. You can try, and you can, but don't force yourself to do something that you don't want to do. You can do something if there is a purpose behind, you know, and a dream behind, then yes. But to be in a place where you are not yourself, and this is not your call, this is killing yourself softly. So yeah. Anyway, I saved during that year. I saved money because, again, Spanish reality is very hard to go from Spain and Southern European countries. It's very hard for us to go to the north of Europe or abroad to study, to live, even to pay the flight. It's out of our salaries, you know, like it's, so you need to really stop for a 1 year and really save in order to do the move, knowing that when you move there, you still need to work more. And during that time, I also had a big depression, you know, love affairs happened. And my heart was very broken and I was stuck in a job that I didn't love. And so I was totally lost. I was very lost in the sense that there was no sense to me, what I was doing, where I was going. I didn't have the motivation. I even forgot that I was a marine biologist. I even forgot that I studied a career, biology or marine stuff related, you know? So I was totally lost. But I don't know, like I had to slowly come back, you know, to myself. It wasn't an easy process. I remember because I was so desperate to leave that situation, I applied for more than 20 universities in Europe. You know, like when you ask me to apply and I'm desperate, I'm going to do like, and so I still have all these folders for each application that I did for going to the Netherlands and to Ireland. I applied to all the masters that related to marine biology in all the universities. And because I was like, I need to go out from here, no matter what, you know, this is related to that, I'm going. One of the masters that I applied was in Sweden, and this round come earlier, okay? So usually the rounds come in September, August, September, they say yes or no, but this one was in January, they were saying yes or no. And they said to me no, because my English was in the minimum. You have to do an official test and it was still in the minimum that they require. So they said to me no. And it was a big, how is it, punch, you know, because I wanted to go out and study and change my reality. So again, this brought me in this depression mood, you know, like, okay, no one wants me. But I have a beautiful sister, my sister Susana, who saw me in this process, and she decided to look masters for me too. And she found the master in Wageningen University, where Sarah, you also have a study there. So she came one day and said, look, I found this master in aquaculture and marine resource management in this town in the middle of the Netherlands, far away from the sea, surrounded by cows. And I said, what are you talking about? There is no sea there. They are not good in marine biology for sure, you know? Like, and I was living in Barcelona in the city. It's like, I don't want to go to this little town. But then she sent an email to them. I don't know, like there is like a point of information where students tell you their experience and how to enroll. So she sent an email, hey, I'm the sister of this person. can you explain me more about the master? And she came with me with the email. Look, it's very easy to enroll, and they have that and that. And, you know, I say, okay, well, I apply. I have nothing to lose, you know. And then I apply. And this master and that place, Wageningen, they really, really, really changed my life. It gave me an opportunity to dream again. Because in Spain, slowly I started my dreams were crumbling, and there was no platform or, I don't know, environment for me to let my dreams come true, or not to let my dreams, because I didn't know my dreams, but at least to give an opportunity, you know. So going to the Netherlands, I was at that time 28 years old, guys. The majority of the students there were 20s doing their master. And I also feel ashamed when I went there. Of course, you know, this is not all funny and fantastic. I was ashamed that I was older than them, and I was studying again, you know. But at the same time, as I said to you, this was the only solution, and I'm going to grab it. And I'm going to work with my ego and being ashamed. I will work with that. And then when I was there, I have a very young spirit, so all my friends were 5-10 years younger than me, and there was no difference when we were, you know, hanging around. So the difference is in my passport, but not in how you relate with people. And so this master gave me a huge opportunity. I remember the first day of classes where I start to cry, and people don't understand. Well, I tell you, it was very hard to leave Spain. It was very hard to save the money. It was very hard to get accepted, you know, in another institution when you are not an English native speaker. So there was a lot of fight behind, and a lot of time and energy put on having this chance. So I was crying the first day. And so I enjoy so much that master. And people were asking me, "Ay, Isabel, the sun doesn't rise so much there, you know, aren't you depressed? You know, you come from Spain, sun is always there." I say, look, I'm so happy. I was in Barcelona, the sun was rising every day, and I was very sad because I was not doing what I wanted to do, you know. So of course, sun is important, but to me, I was, you know, when you are doing what you like, you really are shining, you know, no matter if it's raining or not. Anyway, so I spent, so the first year was coursework. I have to say that I did a specialization in aquaculture. So you could choose governance, aquaculture, or fisheries. And I chose aquaculture because of fear, guys. So it wasn't because I wanted, but I was so afraid to not have a job. So I was thinking, if I do governance, I don't speak perfectly English, how I'm going to convince someone? If I do fishery, this is ecology, mathematics, this is really hard, guys. To me, for other people maybe not, but for me, yes. And I was thinking, I feel comfortable in the lab. I know I can do, you know, lab work. I'm good in physiology, you know. I had experience working with fishes, and so I felt like aquaculture was a path that within my skill set, I could do, right? But it was based on fear, I have to say, to not find a job. What happened that I finished my coursework, and then and there's a big moment, okay, that is going to happen in my life. I remember I was looking for it's a 2 years master. The first year is coursework, and the second is thesis, 6 months, and internship, 4 months, more or less. No, 6 and 6, sorry. And then I remember I was looking for an internship or thesis, and everything was related to culturing fish for production, you know, for research on fish to eat. And at that time, I have changed so much in that town that I couldn't do that job. I couldn't. Aquaculture is important, as fisheries is important, but to me, they were, you know, I didn't want to do it in a traditional way. You know, if I was in aquaculture, I wanted to do something more to the conservation part, you know, not so much for the production. And so I remember I went to the study advisor of the master, and I come to him and I say, look, I'm looking for a thesis, an internship, and but I don't know what to do, because I know that I don't want to do that. And so he said to me, give me your CV, let me see. And so he looked at my CV. I have a very strong CV. Of course, I was 28 at that time. You know, it's not because you are better. This is something that I want people to understand. Don't compare to others. Everyone has different journeys. I'm 28 at the time. You know, I come from a place where you have to fight a lot to get opportunities. So it's normal that I had a big CV at that time, you know, but I was also older than others. Anyway, so he said to me, I have seen that you have done many things. You could do whatever you want. What about doing that and that and that? And I don't know why, but I started to cry, because I realized at that time, when I have my CV in front of me and he was offering me other opportunities, that I was always doing something to have a line in my CV to get a job that I didn't get it. So I realized that it was time to change and follow my heart. I couldn't do another job that I don't feel it, you know, because I did it line and line in my CV, and that job didn't came, that paid job didn't came. So it was a realization moment. I started to cry in front of him and this Dutch big man, and I say, I cannot take that opportunities, you know, like this is not what I want to do. So I went home crying because I was lost, you know. I was like, okay, there is nothing that I like, and I don't want to do something that I don't like, because it didn't work for 28 years, didn't work. And so I went home, and I don't know why, but I'm also I am a very positive person and optimistic, and I don't know why, but I have my ups and downs, but I always feel like something good is to come, something, you know, there are more good things to appreciate. So every day I was waking up and say, Isabel, today is the day that things can change for better. I remember I didn't have very little money in my account. My sister, which also was studying and working in Switzerland, was paying my rent and giving me cash money to survive in the Netherlands, it's very expensive. And I had to, my sister said, focus on your studies, no worries, I give you the money, you know. And so I have to continue my routine of studies and looking for this internship and thesis, and I don't have budget to pay a flight. I don't have budget to pay a rent, but still I don't know why I did a lot of work in myself, like something's going to be, you know, like today is the day that it's going to go for better. And I was every day waking up telling this to me, and to not let the money to define who I was. And it's true, because if you look at your account, you can get depressed, you know, and you look at your bills, you get depressed because you have to pay some more things. So I was saying to me, I am not defined by the money in my bank account, you know, and I have the right to dream if I want to. And I don't know what is going to happen, but it's going to happen something. And so the opportunity came, an opportunity that it blew my mind, because I never saw this in my context, in my reality with my friends, my family, you know. And so there was an opportunity to go to the Bahamas, do an internship there, doing coral restoration through sexual reproduction. So this means that you witness the spawning events, and with Acropora palmata, which is an endangered species there. And so there was this opportunity, but guess what? The team was already full. And so I was like, man, now that I found a good opportunity, they were paying a salary, they were paying your flight, they were paying accommodation there. It was all covered plus pay. Like, man, now that I found a good deal, it's the fullest team. But you know what? I am a person that if you say to me, how can I say? I listen to myself a lot, and I knew that I have still something to say. I couldn't accept that easily. So my supervisor at that time said to me, there is no space for you, Isabel. There is already 2 theses going on, 2 guys, a girl and a boy, and there is no space for you. And I was thinking, hold a minute. This is a super opportunity. I'm 28. I have the CV. You know, I can bring so much to this. I said to, and I was thinking, okay, you said to me no. I contacted the director of the initiative. You know, to me, like I have a say, like, you know, if it doesn't happen in that direction, happen in the other. You know, I'm going to look on a way to make things happen. If, of course, if it doesn't happen, I also am I accept things as well. It's not like I'm just pushing and pushing. But my call was saying to me, you still need a card to play. So I contacted the director and I said to him, look, this is me. I am studying here. This is my CV, you know. And then I saw that I sent the email, and then suddenly he was looking at my LinkedIn and I said, oh my God, he's interested, you know. So he sent me an email and he said, can you send me your grades? And I said, yeah, of course, I have 5-year degree. Bam, you know, with all the grades, and I highlighted all the ones that were related to marine. You know, I facilitate you what you want to know about me. And he say, and then he didn't say to me nothing, but he talked to my supervisor and said, let's bring her. Let's bring her. So I went to my supervisor and said, okay, you are coming because of your willingness. You know, the director saw that you are very eager to come, and they say that, okay, there's a space for you. So I got the opportunity, and I remember when I was doing the visa for that, for going to Bahamas, they put in my visa marine biologist. I'm coming as a marine biologist. And I was crying, you know, because finally it was really recognition that I was already, but, you know, it was like in a paper, like I'm traveling and I'm recognized as a marine biology, and it was all covered, all flight, accommodation, food. I even saved money. Can you imagine, in the Bahamas? I saved money, and I had zero in my account at that time. Yeah, this really changed my life, you know. And again, it's because I say no to offers that I didn't feel aligned. And when I saw the offer that I feel like, okay, this is what I want. This is what I need, you know. They say no, and I say, yes. I say yes, you know. And I always do that. And if someone say to me like no, because sometimes like a no, I say, okay, first of all, you are losing, you know. But I also try to think, okay, why you don't like me or why you don't want me. So instead of focusing in the negative part, I try to build those skills that is required for that position. So you didn't want me because maybe I need to speak French fluently. Okay, let's work the French. You need someone that know how to drive a boat. Okay, I need the boat license. You know, so it's not like I am not enough. It's okay. What can I do for me to go to that place? So it's another way of seeing rejection. And this is a big learning too. I was so much rejected in my life that at a certain point I cannot handle rejection. And it's like first of all, you know, this rejection marked my life. But I don't know why in the professional arena, when someone said to me no, I don't mind. You know, I trust life. I say, okay, maybe this is not my job. And if I really want that, I study why I was not chosen. It's not because you are less. You know, there are things that maybe you need to learn. Sometimes there are other projects that are very good too, you know, and they need the money, they need opportunity. It's fine, you know, it's okay. So now I don't see rejection in the professional world. I don't feel offended, you know. Maybe in the love aspects, maybe yes, but in the professional, I don't feel offended. Anyway, so this happened, blah blah blah, and it was amazing. It was hard to, you know, like we were working during the peak of a spawning season. We were working like 80 double full time, so 80 hours per week for 2 weeks in a row. So it was pretty intense. And I would like to maybe share the video of the spawning if you want, so people can see the spawning. Yes. Let me see.
Awesome.
Can you see the video?
Yes.
Yes. So as you can see here, we have a tabular coral, and it's releasing egg sperm bundles, which is these orange little balls that are positive buoyant, so they go to the surface. And with pipette transfers, Pasteur pipettes, we collect these bags, which are full of eggs and sperm. And this is the coral label. Labeling is very important in marine biology. And I show you another one. Can you see the picture? See?
Yep, it's coming. Oh yeah, cool.
This is it's a coral that is gravid, so it's about to do the spawning. I don't know if you can see this little. It's the same thing that you saw, the egg sperm bundle, the little bags. They are pink here inside of the branch. And this is what is going to be released through the mouth of the polyp here. What else? I had another video. Ah, yeah. This is this is when we do the coral is found in ex situ. So we have the tanks, we isolate the coral. At this moment, they are not isolated, but before the spawning, we isolate them. So we are checking for these bundles to show through, if we see that this bundle is about to be released through the mouth, it's when we start to isolate them. And anyway, I'm going to go faster because otherwise, as you can see, I have a long life. Anyway, what happened? Bahamas, yeah, anyway, I come back, I had to do my thesis, whatever. I knew by the time I was 29, guys. So, and it didn't happen before, it happened that time, And I knew I wanted to do spawning, coral reproduction. So, but, spawning doesn't happen every month. It only happens during 2-3 nights for 2-3 months. And it changes depending on where you are in the world. And so I had the chance to go to the Philippines to do a spawning there. Again, I contacted a person in Australia. I contacted many people, as I did with the master first in Ireland and Netherlands. There were many no's. And there were others that offered me things that I didn't want to. And I said, what the heart say? No, 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 no. And then another person, which is a very, I really, she's Madeleine Van Open, which is a huge figure in coral conservation and in coral reefs. She said yes, and I was like, oh my god, Ames, from Australia. They said to me to go, but she offered me to train to do the thesis. In Australia at Ames, in subjects that it wasn't what I wanted. And I was scared to say to her, like, hey, I don't want to do that, But at the same time, I couldn't afford to be in Australia. It was really impossible out of my budget to pay a travel, to be there. It was like, I don't know how I'm going to make that. There is no time because it's going to happen right now. And I say, okay, again, follow your heart. And I said to her, look, I really appreciate the opportunities, but I would like to do something with reproduction. And she said to me, all right, I have a PhD student that goes to the Philippines, in 2 months, maybe you can help her. And for me, it was like, oh my God, you have to tell what you want. It's not like, don't be scared to tell what you want, with respect. And so Philippines was the dream opportunity as well, because it was a place that I could afford, fly-wise, living there, and it was about reproduction. I wanted to see these spawnings again. And I learned so much in the Philippines. I totally recommend you to go to the Philippines if you can. Filipinos are amazing. And to me, I get to know a culture that I love to. Anyway, a story in the Philippines, very important. I don't know why, but I think the money thing was still going on, the problems. And happened to me that my credit card didn't work, right? Many reasons. It didn't work, so I didn't have cash money for 4 months. I learned how to live in the Philippines as a humble Filipino without no cash. And no cash means I cannot either buy a coffee or ice cream. I cannot. I have to ask the other one to pay for me and put it down that I own this money to this person. I was so ashamed, but couldn't do anything. Anyway, at that time, there was this ICRS conference of corals in Hawaii, in Honolulu. Okay, I didn't have any research to show. I didn't have the money to go, but all the Filipino team were going, and they are so nice. They said, Isabel, come with us. And I said, but I don't have nothing to present. It doesn't matter. You are here to cheer with all of us. And so they put this little thing on you, like everyone, you see, you are in the station and everyone left you and they go to Hawaii, and you are like, oh man. And so the thing is that because my card didn't work for 4 months, all the money was in the bank account, but I could pay a flight. I couldn't withdraw money, but I could pay the flight. So I paid the flight, and my sister, my other sister, you know, this is how important to heal also bonds with family, you know, and friends, you know. To my sister, the smallest one, said to me, I pay you the ticket for the conference, because I didn't have more, you know. And so I paid the flight, my sister paid the ticket. I did, how do you call it, couch surfing too, because I couldn't afford the accommodation. And in that conference, guys, if you go to a conference, another advice, study who is going there. I didn't go there. Of course, I don't put this investment just to visit Honolulu. In fact, I didn't have money nor time to visit Honolulu or the island. What I did is I took all this book of the conference and I look at the topic that I like it and who was the researcher behind that, where they come from, you know, what actually they're doing. So I knew I have my list of researchers to go and talk to them directly. And of course, a lot of work of confidence, but you know, it's very hard to go to get the chance to see all these researchers that are doing job that you would like to do. So I say, I need to forget about my shyness. I need to go to them. So I sent an email, I'm going to be there. We have a time to meet, you know, so I talked to them and I was asking for any kind of PhD position or research assistant, you know, and happened there that I met my super mentor. Also very important to, if you have the chance to have a mentor, it really changed your life. Mari Hahedon, with working cryopreservation of coral, and your sister island Oahu in HIMB, Hawaii Institute of Marine Biology. I had the chance to meet her in person. I had some previous conversation. Sorry, there was a conversation initially at the beginning of the year. This happened in September. I had a Zoom meeting with her in January, let's put it like this, because I was looking for this thesis. And she told me, don't come to Hawaii, there is a bleaching event. If you come, there is a risk that you don't get anything. And she told me, but maybe talk to me later in the year, because maybe there is a project in French Polynesia to help my postdoc. And I said, oh man. So I knew I had to go to this conference to go and meet her, like to meet her, because it's not the same to relationships can, you know, of course we can build relationships through Zoom and meetings, but if you go in person, you show who you are, you just playing what you like, it's totally different experience. So I said, Mary, I'm going to be in Hawaii, let's meet. And so I met her and we formalized a project of French Polynesia. And so I was, after 1 month, traveling to French Polynesia, you know, and I stayed there, like 9 months. And after that, she invited me to go to Hawaii to continue working for her. We were lucky that year that we cryopreserved coral larvae for the first time. It's the only first time in the world. And this happened. We still don't understand how, but this happened. And so after that, I went to Hawaii. I have to say, for people that is from the United States, it was through the Smithsonian Institution. Totally recommended. I don't know, I'm very fan of them. And they have a lot of internships. And the thing is that sometimes the internship is not listed. In my case, it wasn't listed. I talked to the person. She said, I'm going to create a position. And you create the position. And I have to say that all my jobs, they were not in a job list thing. None of them. I always go directly to what I want. and I talk. And I never, they maybe have some budget, someone has left, someone whatever, So this is how I do it, I create it. I don't wait for this to happen to me. I say what I like to do. I'm going to contact this person. I'm going to contact Sarah for the construction visions, like I go. I don't wait for something to find it in the website. And this is another big advice. Don't be conscious that you have a power of creation. You don't have to sometimes see it clear in a website. This is your path, this is the job that you can do, this is the study you have to do. You can create that. I create that. I'm still doing it. I love it. In fact, I love to do the way I like, and so so I was through this Smithsonian internship award that I could be in French Polynesia and United States. And at that time I was getting good money, like as a marine biologist, and these incredible places, So I have to say that, I have got getting good money, but in my family we have this relationship of helping each other. They help me, I was helping my sister, so there is always this relationship, that we look money as a means for someone to achieve dreams, or for health, if there are health urgencies, the money is there. So the way I look money now is because I was without money. I don't look it like, like I want to have it all. In fact, I want to share it all, and then what else? Hawaii. Yes. I had to come back to the Netherlands because my thesis, I didn't finish. I was in the Philippines. Suddenly I was in Hawaii. She told me, come in 1 month to French Polynesia. So my thesis was there waiting, So I had to come back and finish the thesis. So again, I didn't follow the normal path. People do in 1 year the thesis. It took me 3 years. My supervisors complained a bit, saying timing is not the thing for you. I said yes, but I said to them, I will repeat everything again. To me, having the title, the degree, it was not going to bring all the experience that come after. But taking those experiences it had led me to be where I am right now. So I this is how right now, even if I'm doing a PhD at 35, I would do again the same, and I don't know, like to me it's not about finishing on time. To me it's about enjoying, discovering who I am, and took all the chances that I can through that journey. Of course I have a deadline for the PhD, and I need to do it, but there are hard deadlines too, and of course we have to follow. And then what else? Netherlands, and I finished. The team from Hawaii was going back to French Polynesia, and they said to me, and I wanted to come, but at that time I didn't have this is the story of National Geographic. I didn't have the internship have finished. The Smithsonian Internship Award have finished, so we cannot reapply again, And so I was there in the Netherlands. Now I feel stuck, because I was in a place that I didn't want to be. I wanted to be in the South Pacific. The team was going to the South Pacific, and they couldn't justify how to bring me. And you know what? I applied for an NGO. I said, I bring myself, no worries, So I did that. I have to say again that this is not only my proposal, like there's a huge collaborators behind. I asked feedback, and this is how I got the NGO, and then I could come back to Morea, and that's it. And then the PhD in Australia, which they denied me twice. Okay, and I say just apply, just in case, I apply once, they say no. I apply twice, they say no. I say okay, forget it. And then they said to me, okay, Isabel, I don't know why, but there's a space for you, come. And I'm here in Australia at the moment, which I never thought I was going to be, for a coral reef biologist. It's like a place where you want to work and see. So yeah, this is, I'm going to cut it because otherwise I can't continue, but.
Well, it's awesome, Isabel. I think it's so impressive and it's such a great story. I can't thank you enough. I don't know if Kendra or Joanne, do you guys have a question or anything you want to ask Isabel before she has to go? Or, I mean, it's just so inspiring. Like I said, all that you did, and look at you now, because people say no, but you said yes. I love that expression.
Yes. I have to say that my big win is not only the professional part, but my big win is to transform and heal and believe in myself, and this is my big win, in fact.
Yeah. Well, you couldn't have professional success without your personal, strength and everything that you've done. It's amazing. So yeah, really great. And I love all the things. I'll summarize all the things you suggested, like finding a mentor and believing in yourself. You had so many great messages. It's just really inspiring. And I feel inspired.
I think my main advice is follow your heart. This one here is really telling you what to do, what not to do. If something feels good, something doesn't feel good. I know sometimes we are in constraints, but follow your heart and be aware that you can co-create your reality.
Yeah, definitely. It's once you've realized your passion, the choral, it kind of got easier after that, right? Because you knew what you wanted to do. And that's really important.
But you know what, Sarah, people change too, and the person that I was before now is changing. So I'm always realizing there are changes to coming. It's a scare because you have put so much time in something, but at the same time I have to follow that rule of my heart and say, like maybe not leave choral 100%, but maybe combining with something else that I want to bring, other ideas that I have.
The possibilities are endless. It's only up to what you can imagine, like you said.
Yeah. And also another thing that I also wanted to say, like, people think like the job that you are going to do, it's already there. The job is not there. The job doesn't exist. Jobs are every day being created. They are being created. So there are jobs that when I was born, they didn't exist. So if you expect to find the exact word for that job, maybe it doesn't exist yet, and you are the one to create it. So, and to me, it's more about taste and live life, experience and listen to you. How does it feel? I taste it. How does it feel? I don't like it. I like it. I try second time to see if it changed. It's more like that. And so it's how you are tuning to find what you like.
Yeah.
No one's get the first answer immediately. So it's about tuning the who you are or who you want to be.
And it's worth the wait. It's worth trying because you don't want to stop because you think that's all you can do. It's you got to keep pushing something. Yeah.
But also enjoying life too, guys, because I'm a workaholic a little bit sometimes, and this is not good. There has to be a balance. And I realize now there has to be a balance. And of course, job, if you do what you like, it's a passion, amazing, but there have to be time for your friend, family, for yourself, for doing hobbies. It's how you get your energy back when you are working. And now I'm learning that in the middle of the PhD.
Well, that's an important time.
Yes.
Good. Well, awesome. Well, and Kendra and Joanne, you sure no, you don't have any questions or anything? I know we're already, thank you so much for your generosity with your time, Isabel. It's so great to hear your story. But yeah, I just want to make sure no one has any other questions or anything for you while you have this chance.
No questions, but thank you. It's an amazing story.
Yeah, thank you.
Thank you.
Yes.
Yes, thank you. I really enjoyed your story.
Thank you. Thank you, everyone. Thank you.
Great. Well, and we'll definitely share with others, Isabel. And I can't wait till we get to meet you in person.
Yes, I
If
know,
you
I know.
ever come to Kauai, you have a
Soon,
place.
soon.
Yes.
All right. Mahalo to everyone. Thank you very much for this invitation. And yeah, I hope this is not an example for you to live your life. It's just another story of the 1,000 possibilities of a story that can happen. And that's it, only that. But
Yeah.
you have a story to tell to us too, you know. Everyone has a story to tell. We are here for a reason, you know, and yeah, and all stories matter, you know, all of them. So so yeah.
Very true. Awesome. Well, that is a perfect ending, Isabel, and I can't thank you enough. It's this is exactly what we want this opportunity to be, is people to hear a real story, and then they can identify with that, they can be inspired by it, and you've definitely done that. So I can't thank you enough.
Thank you, everyone. Mahalo.